Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play Podcast with Jordan Hughes. Alrighty, welcome in Play-by-Play Podcast with you after another bumper weekend of Super Rugby Pacific. It just keeps on keeping on. Jordan Hughes with you alongside Tyler Campbell, as always. And joining us this week, a very special guest on the couch, Bond University halfback, former Glascow Warrior as well, Jordan Lenac. Hello, mate.
Hey, mate. Thanks for having me.
Potty debut.
It is.
How are you feeling?
Thinking about it all day.
Have you?
Yeah.
Done your research, I've heard?
Yeah, I've done some research.
Okay. You got big shoes to fill. We had Rian sitting there, mate. He was a sharp, as you know.
You got to bring that comedic relief.
That's
That was his point of
I
difference.
think that's probably the only thing I can bring.
There we go. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I just spent the last 2 hours pretty much being a slave to you doing media shoot, but
Yeah, mate. Bond promo, how good?
on promo, yeah.
Ready to roll.
Chapter books, but it's all right.
Yep. Also, speaking of that, Cost Harbour on the weekend, a little tour or trial for the boys. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously good to finally get a hit out. Missed last week with the cyclone and kind of got one session in before Cough, so a little bit rusty from the boys, but to come away with a draw against a pretty quality Hunter outfit's a good sign. So moving forward, just got to build from there, and got Sunnybank this week, rolling into round one against West.
How good. Joy, we'll touch on you a bit, just the people that don't know you that well. Obviously, Australian schoolboys, Reds 20s for you through the system. Spent some time at UQ before back at Bond, is that correct?
Yeah, when
Don't forget Jeeps.
yeah,
Oh, gee, you're a bit of a club man, isn't he?
I was, yeah. So after school, went up the road to study. Was obviously at UQ and with the Reds, so UQ for a few years, and then jumped across to Jeeps for 1 or 2 years before.
You won a
going
comp,
overseas.
didn't you, with them?
Yeah,
Off the bench,
premiership
off the bench,
and
yeah.
Aussie champs as well.
How good.
Yeah, so
What year was that? It feels like a lifetime ago now.
it would have been 2018, maybe 2019,
Yeah,
around
jeez.
then.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
And then, obviously, you got a gig to go over and play for the Glasgow Warriors in Scotland. What a cool experience. How was that?
Yeah, it was unreal. Such a good experience. Somewhere I didn't think I'd ever get to play footy, but yeah, loved every second of it. The weather was pretty tough,
Yeah.
but good group of boys over there, good footy. Yeah, good couple of years, but I definitely miss the coast.
Yeah, I
for
can
sure.
imagine.
What was your thoughts on sort of that pathway system? Obviously, I've seen Air, who you played for.
Yeah.
Air. You've seen a lot of boys, sort of like your Cole Forbes, your Tom Jordans and stuff, go into that comp, and now they've sort of kicked on. Obviously, Cole Forbes at the Blues, Tom Jordan's running around for Scotland. Like,
He's killing it as well.
yeah, obviously, it's a big sort of pathway for international players. Like, how does that sort of work for everyone?
Yeah, so it's changed a little bit now. So I think it was maybe a year or two before I went, the Scottish Rugby developed a program or a competition called the Super Six, where they pretty much brought the two or three best clubs from each region to make like one almost rep team. They played under their own banner, and then we played each other. So we were kind of that jump in between the Scottish Premiership, which would be like our QPR, and Glasgow. But the amount of boys that would go up and down in between the Super Six and the URC teams was out of control. And I think it definitely helped a lot. Like the squad sizes over there are so much bigger than here. Like very regularly you were training with 50, 55 blokes. Obviously with the international windows being quite strange, and the year I was there was a Lions year, so that added a whole other element of people coming in and out. But it just seemed like a really good setup, and everyone kind of knew exactly where they needed to be and what direction they were going in, which I think coming from Australia to there, and boys are asking the similar questions to that about here, like we didn't really have that answer. Like it seemed like there was a bit of a gap sort of between our under 20 system and then that Super Rugby. Like if you didn't get picked up by 20s, you were kind of in that no man's land.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big ask for especially those younger boys coming out of 20s to then one, find a Premier grade team where they can go in and make an impact, and two, once they're in that system, be recognised in amongst like men.
Yeah.
More or less.
And you see now a lot, if you're not in that early system before 22, 23, and you miss it, you're almost gone. And you've got people have to go overseas and then try to come back to the gig.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, but I think it's good and bad at the same time. Like up until that point, it seems pretty clear. Like obviously when we went through, we had Aussie schools to sort of push us on. But now even that's changed again, and the school system's kind of backed off a bit and gone back to more of a provincial sort of pathway, and you play through. And yeah, I'm not really sure what the direction is, but yeah, I mean, it's above my pay grade to think about.
All right, best rugby. We'll go rugby memory. We won't go normal memory. Rugby memory you had over in Scotland, and why?
My personal best memory, I probably would obviously be making my debut. But again, that
Benetton? Was it the Benetton?
It was,
Canes?
yeah, Benetton, yeah. But it was a strange one again because we were obviously during COVID, and I wasn't actually in the starting 23 up until probably 15, 16 hours before kickoff. And I remember driving to the stadium, getting a phone call from the coach, and I saw him pop up in my car, and I was like, oh, this can't be good. Answered the phone. He's like, yeah, mate, so something's happened. You're pretty much in. And I was like, oh, fantastic. And then that was it. Hang up the phone, get there, had a sort of an hour or two to sort of try and call mum and dad back here, friends, just to let everyone know what was going on. But yeah, with the time difference, everyone was kind of asleep. So it was very anticlimactic at the same time. And then we finished. Everyone was obviously up again here. And then it all kind of really kicked in. So yeah, that was probably my most substantial memory. Apart from that, just travelling in and around all the other teams in the URC was unreal. Like every other week, either been in Italy or Ireland or Wales. It was just, yeah, it was such a funny experience for someone who grew up on the Gold Coast to for that to be your competition. Like you just kind of bouncing it around, flying in and out.
Is it like England where they have, obviously they're in the URC, but you know England has the Premiership too and they play midweek? Does Scotland have that? I don't actually know.
No, we just go Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Unless we play when European comp starts, or if you're either in Champions or Challenge, you then have a couple of midweeks. But yeah, we just stick to weekends.
What about off the field? How did the Scottish go on the sauce? Surely some good stories with the boys.
Yeah, they loved it. It was a really funny comparison between Aussies and Scottish. Like we're quite similar in the way that we're not too serious. We love to have some fun. But to be honest, most of the time I was there, because we had such a big collection of Australians and Kiwis there, like we all got just kind of banded together.
Yeah.
And then I think after a few kind of bigger nights, some of the Scottish boys realised it probably wasn't their cup of tea, so they kind of steered clear a little bit on nights out. But yeah, we had a great time. We had an awesome group of boys while we were there.
Was that Dave Rennie, coach, then?
No, just missed Renz.
Just missed
yeah,
him,
so
okay.
I think I got there maybe 3 or 4 months after he left.
Yeah, right. Any other notable Aussies or Kiwis in that side that we'd know?
Sione Tupuotu, yeah, he was at Glasgow.
Look at him.
Yeah, exactly.
The pathway.
Yeah, Tom Jordan. So we played at Ayr together before he was signed with Glasgow, and now he's gone on starting 12 for Scotland. He's killing it. A few boys that have sort of gone and come back that were sort of that maybe 3 or 4 years ahead of me, but in terms of role models for footy, but then just also really, really good mates off the field. Yeah, some unreal people to be around.
How good? Anything else on the Scotland thing before I move on? No. Obviously now you've moved back to Australia after that. Aligned with Bond University, you're a physiotherapy student on the John Eales Excellent Scholarship at Bond. How's that all going?
It's good. It's intense.
Yeah.
A lot of work. A lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's a really good way to kind of balance out footy. And if we were to be working, I think I'd really struggle to sort of come back in to go straight back into that. But yeah, loving it. Again, good people. The uni helps out massively in terms of trying to balance that academic and rugby lifestyle.
You just sitting on something there?
He's getting ready.
No,
You good?
just thinking of memories of Geordie.
Yeah. I remember playing against you when you were playing for UQ back in
Yeah?
the day. Yeah. Playing at Bond back in the day.
Yeah, right.
So that was what was that, 2020? 2018?
2018.
Yeah.
2020 is when he was defending behind the kickoff. I think Rian broke and gave him the gooey and he fell over. Is that right?
Probably, yeah. I'd expect nothing less from
Yeah,
myself.
you got plenty of stick when you came back that day.
Oh, mate. It was like,
Being a Gold Coast kid.
Yeah, it was horrible.
How long you got left on the physio stuff?
1 more year.
Because this is sort of, how old are you? 26, 7?
27.
27.
27.
Because I was generally pretty late to do an undergrad degree. What did you study prior? What did you do at UQ?
I can answer this.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Geordie's gone through about 7 different degrees.
Okay.
Before he's finally settled on, I think the physio one's the one for him.
Are we hitting the stick in here or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I did.
I don't know, mate. I've been there.
I did finish an undergrad at UQ and then came back and then now this is a postgrad. So
Lovely. How good?
it's not too bad. 2 years in and out. No
And
more.
just on the footy thing, how are you enjoying it, Bond? What do you reckon of this year? How are we trending?
Yeah, really good. I think, as we were just saying, like we had a pretty good week in Coffs. Some really, really good moments, some pretty average moments as well. But I think if we would compare this game this year to that game last year, like we're chalk and cheese. Like we had so much more of a better basis of everything that was going on. We seem to have a lot more boys who know what's going on as a whole. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to sort of see what the next couple of weeks leads up, especially going into the start of the real season.
There we go. How good. All right, Joy's going to join us for the whole episode. So let's get stuck into a bit of Super Rugby, boys. Tyler, your eye-catching moment of the week.
Eye-catching moment. Mine's actually not going to be a positive.
Okay.
And it's actually going to be obviously something that's probably been talked about a lot in the media. And it's a bit of a gamble on when a TMO should step in. And that's a Damien McKenzie try. Obviously looked outstanding, the spin and the get through. But I feel like as a Chiefs fan, I could probably say that was pretty damn close to a knock-on if you slowed it down. And it's weird because obviously as an All Black supporter, we lost the World Cup with the TMO coming in 6 phases later and the TMO not stepping in there. So I just think, I eye-catching moment in a way for me is what's going on there. When do they come in? When do they stay out? Why is it different between different TMOs? And it's the old age debate around, is TMO needed in the game? Because obviously it slows it down a bit. I know Super Rugby's trying to speed everything up, so it's a bit of an eye-catching moment. More the fact that it creates a bit of a debate, and but other than that, I just thought rugby across the board was pretty good. And I guess if I do a positive one as the Reds, I predicted them to bounce back well, and they probably put their hand up to be that best team in Australia. So I'm looking for that clash between them and the Brumbies in a few weeks' time.
Do you think with that TMO, instead of, like, as you said, going back 6 phases, there should be a definite cutoff, like
How far back?
you can go to a maximum of 2 phases back, and then before that, if it hasn't been picked up by the referee or the touchies, you should just be like, you should be backing those guys to make those calls.
Yeah, it's a hard one because you can debate what do you go back for. Like if it's foul play, you probably go back for hours you want, and look at things like that. But yeah, little things like that. Like if the game's gone on 5, 6, 7 phases, it is an interesting one to go back that far.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty tough because obviously if you're sitting at home and you see it, and a TMO doesn't step in, you're blowing up if you're a supporter of that team. And if you're on the other side, you've probably got a sigh of relief that you got away with something.
Yeah.
And, no one's perfect. So it's obviously we can sit here and bag TMOs and refs, but that TMO system's in there to help the refs and make sure calls like that aren't missed.
I think overall, though,
it's a hard one to make a decision. Yeah, I think it's been good.
Refereeing has been good this
I
year.
think there's been a few forward passes that have been missed by TMOs. It's almost like they're not calling back the forward passes. I've seen them in a few games. So, and I think that's fair because camera angles can make a pass look bad.
Yeah.
Especially when everyone's running onto it and whatnot. So, it's a debate that will probably go on for the next 20 years as long as TMOs are there. Until they maybe put like a microchip in the ball that says whether it goes forward or back.
Yeah.
That's when it might change a little bit.
That'd be sick, just quietly.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I really like that idea.
There's actually a company called Sportable that do a bit of that. They do it with the kicking stats in the ball. They're trying to do that with the forward pass to make a difference.
It'd just be interesting to see how that works. Like, if you're carrying the ball, you're moving forward.
Yeah.
So obviously that chip's going to be going.
Yeah.
So how can you get it perfectly in time with a pass that's been thrown and
there's so
or
much
someone
grey.
kicks it,
There's
like
a lot
all
of
those
science
things. There's a
behind
lot
Nothing's black and white.
yeah, there's a lot that's probably got to go right for that to sort of come into the game. But I think that's something that will sort of eliminate some of those tough calls and make it a bit easier on the refs and take a bit of pressure off them.
For sure. Geordie, what do you like?
I mean, I think an obvious one had nothing to do with the rugby was the jerseys.
Yeah?
Yeah, love the jerseys.
Yeah, chat.
Big fan of the sort of superhero style kids jerseys. They were just a really good sort of thing to add into Super Rugby, I think, for not only not to build the brand of rugby, like just to get some image out there, but I think it just added a bit of diversity, and I think a lot of fans, particularly in those really heavy supporting provinces, just that one extra bit of memorabilia that they can keep on to. For the
Good for the kids.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Seen a lot of it. Like obviously New Zealand, I think they're the only teams that did it.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of social media of people wearing those jerseys already and buying them and popping up on the stories and people giving them around. So that's the sort of marketing we've talked about on here before.
Yeah.
Something that we don't have in rugby union compared to an NFL or an NBA, where there is a variety of jerseys and it becomes a look.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a trend to wear that. Obviously, it's a bit tough wearing rugby jerseys in Australia.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hot, but it'd be good to see more of that stuff and
Hopefully it's full
more
comp.
supporters kit. And
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Well,
cool.
which one do you like
Um,
out of them? You like the
Black
Yeah.
Panther, man.
you like-
Yeah.
I think that was the cleanest.
Wakanda, yeah.
I like the Crusaders, the Spider, the Iron Man. I think that was kind of cool. The red. I didn't
Yeah,
mind it.
yeah.
Theirs suited. I didn't mind the Landers.
Yeah, Hulk, were they? Green?
They were the Hulk
Yeah.
because they've worn green in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the only thing that threw me was trying
Yeah.
to watch it and not really. It took me the first couple minutes to try and figure out which
was the
team
Canes
which.
wearing blue? That
They went as Captain America.
one
Yeah.
threw me off a bit.
That
yeah.
threw me off because they would have been perfect for a Wolverine.
Yeah, yellow. Yeah.
And then the Blues obviously went Spider-Man. When I first saw the Blues one, did not like it, but seeing the full kit, the shorts and everything sort of link up, made it look a lot cleaner. So I did actually rate their kit in the end. But at first, when I first saw just the jersey, I was like, ugh.
There you go.
Yeah, so jerseys is one, and then I think from a rugby perspective, probably Tom Wright's break to Lenny Katau's try.
Yeah.
Just that whole phase was just like.
Well, I'll jump on the back of that. Mine was Lenac Katau.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been quiet this year so far. Hat trick and.
Did we say that he was due a big game?
I think you said it is due to stand up, and he did. Yeah, and Tom Wright, he's killing it as well.
I think I'll put him as a try scorer too.
Yeah.
We might have to roll the tape back on that.
Where does Lenny stand in sort of top 13s in the world now? Do you think he's in that top echelon?
Until Aussie does better, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think he can have games where he really puts his hand up, but I think overall, the level of what we're playing at, it's really hard to argue for him to be putting up against some of those big, probably European centres as well.
Yeah. Lovely. All right, boys, let's go to sort of a round 5 recap. Sort of quick touch on each of these games. Hurricanes 20, the Highlanders 18. Roman Love was clutch, but just falling short with the Landers. What do we think on this?
I'm going to go big shout out here, and it probably is an eye-catching moment that I've missed, but Caleb Zangitel. He's been fucking great to start the year. Wheels. So quick. Like, Ruben Love's no slouch. And when he got that intercept, and that's 2 in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
He's got a bit of toe behind him, so he's obviously putting his hand up in a highly contested outside back position for the All Blacks, but he's a young talent coming through, and I think he's being missed on the 7 circuit at the moment.
Yeah.
But in terms of the game, I thought it was quite a scrappy game. The games have been quite open, flowing, and they've been good to watch because a lot of points have been scored. That game got a bit messy and it was a bit scrappy, so could be teams are adjusting to the new sort of laws and the fitness, but probably wasn't the most exciting game to watch.
The yellow card, have you saw that? The guy got knocked out, then he got yellowed.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? I think they come out and said they got it wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any head-on-head contact.
Yeah.
He just caught Tavanawa's massive shoulder.
I think regardless as a rule, if you get sat down and put to sleep, you just can't.
Yeah, don't give him the yellow. Come on, man.
Especially that's going to get posted all around socials. Like, he's worn it. Just let him have it.
I do understand it if it's by the law. Because if it was the other way around where Tavanawa got knocked out, you're calling for a red.
Yeah.
Well, it happened a few years ago, didn't Tom Wright? Not Tom Wright. Fullback for the Reds.
Jock?
Jock.
No, Patea.
Jock?
Jordy
Jordy
Patea.
Patea.
Can't remember. It was someone from the Reds, and it was a fullback cover, came across, hit almost cheek on cheek. He got knocked out. I think they still scored, but then he got carded after it all happening.
Oh.
It's happened before. Angus Taivao in those Irish tests, he got it wrong. And I think the head-on-head ones sometimes are harsh because you go to make a tackle, and a lot of them are someone steps late, and you get head-on-head. It's always the guy that doesn't have the momentum. It's always the tackler that gets KO'd.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like that, the Freddie Burns one? Remember the charge down?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's sometimes you can't do anything.
No.
And I know you've put yourself in that position, but at the end of the day, it's a high-impact sport in a high-pressure moment under high speeds. Not every tackle is going to be perfect, no matter how technical you are. So I just don't think sometimes those yellows should come in. There should be more mitigating factors that sort of go into that. Like I don't think that's a yellow. I don't think there was any head contact. It was a shoulder to head the other way. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so Gilbert missed 2 penalties at the end. Their Landers could have won this game. Any final thoughts, Jordan, on this?
No, I think what Tyler said, like, it was a bit scrappy, and I think it got to the point where it was almost just like who could just grit their teeth the hardest and just hang on.
Hold on.
It could have gone either way, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
I've got to use well, Jordan. Brumbies 38, Drew at 21. As you mentioned, Tommy Wright was unreal. Ikitau got the hat-trick, and the Drew just can't win away from home again.
it's just a common theme.
Yeah,
now.
exactly
It's not
that.
good, eh?
Yeah, they just... I mean, it would be tough, and I can appreciate the travel they have to do, but at the same time, like, they're at the level where that's not really that much of an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Brumbies are really strong. They had some really good moments, so I think they deserve that win regardless.
Yep, lovely. Anything on this?
Obviously Fiji away from home, but like it probably is that lack of atmosphere. Like you see the atmosphere they get at home, that gets anyone up. So it sucks for them, but on the flip side, I think the Brumbies building nicely, and I thought Lukey Reimer was outstanding off the bench.
Yep.
And I kind of started to see the reason they play him there. The other 7 makes a lot of tackles and gets through a mountain of work, and then you get to finish with a guy like that that's good over the ball, gets around the park. So his sort of role in that impact has been outstanding for the Brumbies, and I think he was a big sort of momentum swing when he came on.
Lovely. The Crusaders 55, the Western Force 33. It's just 2 points difference at half time. Obviously headlined by Springer, 5 tries. Remarkable. Reach, Jordan carving up. Yeah, it was good.
What is it, 8 tries by the 2 wingers? I think Sevi Reece got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
That's quite an achievement. I don't know how many ringers have done that in Super Rugby before.
Yeah.
But 5 tries by Macca Springer. Like, there's a lot of big raps on him in NZ. Probably haven't seen much of him at a Super Rugby level yet. Obviously, he's stuck behind Will Jordan. Che Afiaki's been great. Sevi Reece obviously been probably one of the best players in the comp to start the season. So to see him get a go and come out and score 5 tries, he might be able to put his hand up and force his way into that back 3.
The Force went better than I thought early.
100%.
Yeah,
They're
early.
missing some big names.
Yeah.
Yeah, early. I think I had a quick look at the results for the last couple of weeks with the Force, and it just seems every week they're just getting that little bit further and further off the pace.
Yeah.
So I don't know what needs to happen for them to turn that around, or if they just need a bit of a stroke of luck. But I don't know. I don't really see what direction they're trending in just
I
yet.
thought we had the same conversation every year with the Force.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bit,
We talked about this. They were my prediction to be near the bottom of the table. And I just don't think they travel well, is one thing. They're normally a bit better at home. And I don't know if it's a personnel thing or a culture thing that's going on over there. But I just don't see how they're building. And Geordie's right. Like, they never seem to improve. They seem to start well and early in the season.
Yeah.
And then now they start well in a game and they fall off. It's just a common theme. And Leon McDonald's obviously in there now.
yeah.
It's a big inclusion, so hopefully he can flip the culture around there. But he's in an advisor role. Sometimes you don't really get too much say there.
I wonder how that, like they shit the bed this year. Does Cron get moved out?
I think so.
Leon comes in, like that sort of.
There's a lot of money coming in
reckon-
from up top.
Yeah, a lot of money. And what's his name? Forrest.
Twiggy.
He's not. He wants results, not to
Yeah.
lose. All right, let's go to probably the game of the round. The Chiefs 32, the Blues 31. DMAC again was sensational. Xavier Taeli for the Blues had a chance to win it at the end there, but he was clutch. The 20-year-old.
Firstly, like obviously missed kick. Everyone can talk about that. But for me, what a performance on debut in a game like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just come out of 20s. Seems to have a good hit on him. I'm pretty sure he was captain of the NZ 20s last year. And he really put his hand up to sort of get a good chance in that 12 jersey. Like AJ Lamb's been playing there, but probably isn't predominantly a 12. He's more been a winger throughout his career. To see him come in as a young kid that's 21 years old against probably, I would say on paper, the two best teams on the in the
pretty strong
comp.
outfit.
Blues have been pretty poor this year, but for him to play like that against the Chiefs, I thought it's a positive sign for NZ Rugby because I think 12 has been a position we've been lacking in the last few years, or there hasn't been a real hand-up sort of footballer. Like Geordie Barrett's been there, but he's also been at fullback, so hopefully he's the future and we can see a bit more of him this weekend. I saw he got the start again, so interested to see how he goes.
Geordie, the Chiefs trending in the right direction, aren't they?
Yeah, massively. I think you said it. Like every time you see DMAC put on a performance like he did, you can't not just picture him as the man for NZ Rugby at the moment.
Yeah.
Like he just does some crazy things. Like that try we said got disallowed, but even like a tiny little knock on, but the skill to pick it up on the bounce out, hit and spin, and still go through that gap, like unbelievable.
Unreal.
It was good to see Razor come out and giving him some supporting comments.
Yeah, I didn't see these. What did he say?
Yeah, he was just saying how well he played last year in the 10 jersey and sort of whether it's off the bench or at 10, sort of the athlete that he is and the things he can do on a rugby field. So to see him come out and support him, I think is a big thing because obviously there's a lot of people in NZ asking for Richie Mwanga back.
Yeah.
I think Barrett is trending the wrong way at the moment.
He's getting
I didn't think he started well in the start of the season, and obviously the hand doesn't help with him not getting big minutes throughout the first part of the Super Rugby season. So DMAC's probably our guy, and I think that support's good, and hopefully the media and the NZ public get behind him and sort of prop him up so he can get the confidence he needs to sort of have that 10 role moving into the Test series against France.
There we go. The Chiefs looking the goods. Let's go to Suncorp Stadium now. 20,000 in the house in Brisbane. The Reds 35. The Waratahs 15. It was a hell of a night. I was there seeing it on hand. It was good. Lionel was sharp with the boot. McWright try was unreal. The Reds bounced back.
They have the talent.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. They have the attacking structures, I think, in place to really sort of utilise that talent. Like the skills on that try from Sidhu.
Yeah, he was unreal, I
Like-
thought. Yeah.
That's outstanding. There's not many players in world rugby, let alone forwards, that can sort of pass like that. So it's good to see that they're sort of using their strengths a bit and they're starting to get their discipline and stuff right.
Yep.
I think there was a big call early on, though, that did shift the momentum, and that was the Callaway yellow card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit
I
of chat,
thought-
too, between those.
I thought that was a good hit.
Yeah, I like that.
like it, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly thought it was a good hit.
Yeah.
I
It's just
I
towards
wouldn't
the
have
end.
given that a yellow either. Like obviously he tipped slightly, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a lift or just how hard he hit him.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I think Wilson was a bit embarrassed. That's why he was chatting at him. He was like, fuck, it's got dominated by a
Yeah.
winger.
Yeah, I would.
He'd
100%.
be off that. Yeah. What do you make of it, Jordan?
Yeah, good. I think this is the first year in a good couple of years I've actually been excited to see the Reds play. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's actually probably a bit of a general statement across Australian rugby. Like, I think we're playing some good, exciting rugby. Like you said, the skills to move the ball around from forwards and backs has been a whole step up to where I think it has been. I think the performance that the Reds put on, like that try alone, I think it's putting Queensland Rugby in really good stead to see where things can go.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see sort of later in the season how some of those boys come back in and out of sort of international duties. Like Luke Hahn's back this week, see how he goes. Like, it'll be interesting to see how they fit those personnel in and around changes and if they can continue that momentum through. But yeah, it was a good game, like really good game.
Yeah.
Do you think that's bolstered by the folding of the Rebels? We've had our discussions on this topic. I thought it'd be good to get another insight around.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been good for Aussie rugby?
Oh, I don't know if it's been good for Aussie rugby. It's been good for the other franchises in Australian rugby because they've picked up a whole other squad and got to distribute the best of the best around the rest. So it's kind of made everyone a bit better. But I was a big Rebels guy. Like, loved having a Melbourne franchise. I loved what they did. I loved their kit. I loved their setup. When they were just starting to come out, and I think we were still in school, like that was kind of always one of the franchises I always thought I wanted to get involved with if we went down that path. But disappointed to see it didn't go, but I think it's Australian rugby players has benefited from redistributing that sort of cohort.
And we're seeing it firsthand now.
Yeah, massively.
You know what I mean? We're pushing the New Zealand teams. I think it's a massive blessing in disguise, to be honest. I think it's great. But sad for Victorians.
It's obviously not good for the sort of economical state of Australian rugby. Like it says, there's obviously a bit of trouble going around in terms of money, but I think performance, like they're performing better. They're learning how to win. They're learning how to beat New Zealand teams. I think that's only going to make the Wallabies stronger. Yeah. Because they're not only just competing now against other franchises to get into the Wallabies, they're actually competing within their environment. Yeah. If you look at the Reds, Lucan comes back this week. Ryan Smith, I wouldn't even say he's been dropped. I'd say he'd been rested. And you're going to have Blythe and Canham. Like, one of them's probably looking like they're going to miss out in the regular 23. That sort of competition at that level is only going to make them all work harder. And it's only going to be more of a benefit for the Wallabies towards the back end of the season.
For sure. Quick touch on the Waratahs. Obviously, they've sort of fallen off a little bit. What do we think there?
Well, I didn't think they were playing that well. Like, yes, they won their first three.
But not convincing any of them.
Not convincing. Well, the Force one, they were convincing a bit late.
True, yeah.
But I think I did mention it last week that I was expecting the Reds to get up and get up well. Because, I just don't think the Tahs had been tested. Yeah. I think they got away off individual talent more than how they were playing as a team. Like Jorgensen against the Force was outstanding. Yeah. And he probably set the tone for that game. This week, they didn't get that individual brilliance to sort of propel them into the game, and the Reds just took them apart with just being a good team, and a lot of that Reds team has played a lot of footy together.
That rolling maul trial was embarrassing too. They went 25 on the fly from that.
Yeah, that's some schoolboy stuff.
Yeah.
I think other than the Waratahs front row, I don't think their back five's that strong. Like Rob Leota's good footballer, but like Gleeson, obviously, hot and cold. Charlie Gamble's good, but their second row stock, I don't actually know anything about most of their second rows.
Yeah, Ben Grant's a young kid. He played at Bond Colts, actually.
Yeah.
He's they're getting a crack, and then Hugh Sinclair's club guy, been around for years, but yeah.
In saying that, though, like, they might not have the stock that the other Super Rugby clubs have, but I think from the performances we've seen, I've seen pockets of the games where they have looked well, and it makes me think, like, the more games they get in, will they develop a bit of a relationship around each other and learn how to play off each other a bit more?
Yeah.
But, again, that's...
time will tell.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, lovely. All right, there we go. Round 5 in the books. On the tipping front, Tyler, you and I have seen the board very well. 9 from 10 for you and 10 from 10 for me. Perfect on the winning and against the spread. So totals is 34 from 50 for you, Tyler, and I'm 39 from 50. So
you're having a good year, mate.
We're going good, aren't we?
Didn't you come last year? You've bounced back
I came
well.
last, yeah. Rian got it done last year. All right, let's move along.
I think Rian was actually just voting on who had the better mascot.
He
wasn't even rugby.
Out of a hat, wasn't it?
Pulling it going, yeah.
Mate, he's going, oh, I like that colour. I'm going to vote for them.
One of those guys.
It's like you're betting on horses.
Alrighty then. To touch on the Super W quickly, boys. The Brumbies 15, the Drua 21, the Reds 14, the Tahs 36. Catholic debut. So we saw Tegan at 13 as well. Any
thoughts on the Super Dub, Geordie?
The only thoughts I have on Super W, and this isn't a slate to Super W whatsoever, is I don't think if you're not in the know, I don't think it gets. There's not enough information coming out for people to make comments on about what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the only reason I know what's going on in Super W is from the girls at Bond and who affiliate with the other rugby players, and that's what they tell us. But in saying that, I think having those Sevens girls back in is a good thing, but I also think it's also created a bit of disharmony in the Red squad particularly.
Yeah. Like, girls have been there for a while, sort of getting the flick a little bit.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
I have heard those rumours also.
We understand that the sevens girls are coming back in and they want a shot at the 15s and trying to get into the Wallaroos system. But at the same time, there are 15s specific girls who have worked hard for years to get into the system they are. And I do feel for them when they come back in and there are girls who, don't get me wrong, are good footy players, but they almost get like straight in.
Hear me out. I don't feel sorry for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
That's footy. It happens everywhere.
I agree. And I think...
The Aussie Sevens boys get brought into Super Rugby all the time. The Super Rugby boys drop down from Super Rugby level and push out guys that have played club all year.
Yeah.
It happens in every code, and that's just the nature of it. I just think people sometimes think they deserve a handout because they've hung around. Fortunately, it doesn't work like that. Like, there's always going to be someone coming back that's better, and you've got a front of it. Okay, I've got to prove to the coach that I'm better than this person.
Yep.
And I just don't think we have that attitude sometimes in Australian rugby in general. There's a lot of sooking around people coming back in or people being brought in. And it's like, well, that happens in every sport in the world. You know, if they think someone's better than you and you're not performing, they're going to bring someone in. You just got to suck it up and be better if you want your spot back. I know that's harsh, but
No.
it's not even just towards the girls. It's just in general.
No, you're right. I was going to say what George just said. You don't even know what's going on in Super Rugby Women's, but do you know how we change that? We go with the World Cup. We have a good athlete in this Australian team, and actually, there's the money comes back in.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it changes.
I'll tell you what annoyed me, though. We had Reds Tahs at Suncorp Saturday.
Yeah.
We had Red Tahs at Ballymore on Saturday.
Sunday.
Why was that not a double header?
Double-header, yeah.
So I think they actually get better numbers if they don't play Reds in Suncorp. Like, it's too many little people in the arena. You know what I mean?
We got 20,000 to that game. You telling me that there was 20,000 people at Ballymore on Sunday?
No way.
How many were at
No.
Ballymore?
Yes.
Yeah,
How?
actually,
do we know?
I don't know.
That's my point.
Under 5, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you probably have a couple of thousand people there that were just there for the women. They come in now it's 22,000 at the Reds game, and it's a bigger atmosphere for both teams.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Granted, people are probably still turning up as the women's game's on, but I just think we got to be better there in advertising. And
Yeah.
I don't think everyone wants to play on a Sunday either. If you ask the girls if they could play at Suncorp as a curtain raiser, I think
I wonder
they
what
would
the
put their
rationale
hand up.
was. Yeah, you're right. I'd love to know what. I'm sure there is a reason
I
behind
saw
it.
the
I'll
Reds
put my
had
money on your
another.
reason.
You reckon?
Yeah. I just think...
I think it might come down to money a little bit as well.
Well, yeah, we think about... Because the Reds don't own Suncorp, right? So they've got to pay a higher fee every time they use that stadium. If
They're doing double headers. That's
Yeah.
Do they
and-
pay for the double header higher fee?
I'm assuming there'd be add-on.
be
If they're
something,
playing
yeah.
more fixtures, there's more money.
So they're not paying higher fee for the little kids that play at halftime.
Oh no, they get a freebie, I guess.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's still a business and they've got to make
Yeah.
the bottom line.
And,
But
I understand
and Suncorp
that.
wouldn't be cheap, I'm guessing.
No.
But yeah, I see your point as well, 100%.
Like I just think it could have been advertised as State of O, double header.
Especially, yeah.
Like, then you get 22,000 people, 23,000 people there. Look, some people are probably more likely to go because both games are on.
Yeah, and the Catholic effect would have helped as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it could have been a bigger moment for both teams.
Yeah.
in saying that, I can see the flip side as well. Like, why not put the Reds back at a Ballymore Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
That'd be
I would
unbelievable.
love. I know the problem of why they don't play at Ballymore. I think they actually have a game at Ballymore this year.
Don't think so.
Oh, they don't. I thought there was a.
They won't until they get
conflict
that other stand redone.
Yeah, once that gets
Yeah.
done.
Well, that's actually not the reason they don't play at Ballymore. I found out
Well, what do you got?
the transport to get in there. There's no parking.
That is
Oh, it is
true.
a shit
That's
spot, eh?
And
horrendous.
there's no you can't catch a train up there.
Yeah.
You can try and get buses, but
Well, because the closest train station is at the hospital, and that's
Yeah.
2 kilometres away.
whereas
True.
Suncorp has a lot of sort of transport going in there.
It's central.
Yeah,
And Caxton Street's right next to it as well.
Yeah, there's a
So-
lot of... There you go.
it's a lot more going on
Just
there.
quietly.
Yeah. But we do love a little Sunday afternoon on the hill at Ballymore. It's always a good vibe.
Yeah.
Club-wise, it's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's good scenes. All right, there we go. Let's go to a bit of Six Nations, something you know pretty well, Jordan, playing over there. This was an absolute cracker. France 35, Scotland 16. France wrap up the Six Nations in a big way. What do you make of this, Jordan?
I was hoping that the DuPont effect would have a little bit more of an effect. Evidently not. But I think Scottish rugby is in a really good position. As we said, Tom Jordan's come into that 12 role with Sione out. Made a massive impact on my books. He's probably not there yet in terms of that strong carry as Nons is at the moment. But I think him bouncing off Finn at 10 and being able to game drive as well has been massive for them. And I think they have a lot of good crop coming up. Gregor, who came in as the young flanker, second row, redhead fella. Young kid, good footy player. I think they're trending in a really good direction. But yeah, I think you could have almost guessed that scoreline a little bit earlier than kick off there. But I think it was a good sort of end of the Six Nations for both teams, obviously. Not that I want to see France win, but...
Thoughts on the flying headbutt, Tyler? See this?
No, I didn't see this.
Yellow card. You see this?
It's so good.
Should have been a straight red, or how'd you see
Yeah.
it?
100%.
Well, I don't mind it being a yellow. That way they don't have to assess it and then they can make it a red. I think that's one of the best laws in rugby at the moment that they've brought in, because if you sit there and we spend 5-10 minutes fucking deciding whether it's a red card or not,
Yeah.
it kind of slows down the game. So him to go, yellow card threshold, boom, put his thing up, then it can get assessed. I think that's still okay. It probably was, by the sounds of what you're saying.
I think it
Google
probably should have been red. Do you think?
Yeah. I also don't know, like, that was early in the game. So I don't know what's triggered him to do that. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, it was weird.
It's not like he's had 60 minutes to fester on something. He's come out and gone...
I don't know. I copped a hook on the weekend. I still don't know what it was for.
Yeah, but you always deserve a hook.
Yeah, you're just lippy.
Yeah, you just do you.
I wasn't even lipping.
Nah,
I was
he
too
was good,
tired.
to be fair.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't even know what was going on.
We're living off 2 hours sleep after sleeping on a plastic
On the
mattress.
bunk,
mate.
I heard the bunk beds weren't great.
Fucking no. I was too tired to talk to people.
Good lord. England 68, Wales 14. This was ugly.
Did you get our Six Nation picks in there? Because I feel like I
No,
nailed
you
the
crushed
Six
all of them.
Nations.
Yeah, I went 2 from 3. You went 3 from 3.
Yeah.
Well done.
Even with the lines, like I just...
Oh, you said Italy cover. Yeah.
And I said England to freaking blow
Destroy
them
them.
out.
Yeah, you nailed
I
it.
thought Wales showed good promise against Ireland, but I thought when you've got a team that's fighting to win versus a team that is trying to win a comp, there is different levels of motivation, and I thought that was shown in that game. England were class.
Yeah.
But on that note, I think the French winning, they were the best team in Six Nations.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that loss to England, they were the better team for most of that game. They just blew so many tries. Like, you've got the DuPont one where he drops it near the line.
Yeah.
There was another one where they made a break, and they've become probably the best international team in world rugby to watch. Their counter attack is outstanding. Like, even they scored a try. What's the redhead kid winger? Not Ramos.
Oh, yeah, the other one.
The other
that
one.
Try was electric.
Philly Berry or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think it's that.
That try was fucking outstanding, and they are so exciting to watch. And if I was to try and get someone to watch rugby right now, especially Test footy, I am probably showing them a French game.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they go when they come over to NZ. Hopefully they send a top squad. There's
Surely,
talks of them sending a second squad, which is a little bit depressing, but that's going to be some exciting rugby, because I still think they're the two best attacking teams in the world.
Was it Ramos that come out and said he really wants to play club footy in New Zealand? Did anyone else see
Yeah,
that?
he did say that. Yeah,
That'd be unreal.
Well, that's why he's keen to play in New Zealand this comp. He wants to go and do it. So
I think if you look at like NPC and even Super Rugby, like, it's quite open and attacking, and I think that suits how the French
him.
play.
Yeah.
for sure. So the Wales looking for is it 16 now? 17 in a row losses?
Yeah.
It's up there,
It's
man.
not good.
I don't know what's going on.
It's got work to do. Then we
Wasn't the coach?
No.
I heard it's a system thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Like, I've heard from a lot of people, they're like their 20s and everything. It's just their whole system
mess.
struggling at the moment.
Yeah, not good. Then Ireland 22, Italy 17. The Irish have fallen off a lot since the World Cup. Italy's getting better. How do we see it?
I reckon Italy's getting better.
Yeah.
I also think Ireland's fallen off a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they show glimpses of in games of when they're good, but even the last sort of 12 months, like last year's Six Nations, they look like they struggled without Sexton a bit.
Yeah.
This Six Nations, they look like they struggle. They just beat Wales. They've just beat Italy. Like, you would expect them, with the way they play, to thrash both of those teams. And they're just looks like they're on a downward downward spiral. I'm going to spiral. I can't say that word right now. And it's not looking positive for them. So hopefully it humbles their fans a little bit.
So I'll get your take then, Jordan. So what the Lions squad? What nation's going to dominate all the players? You reckon? Scotland, England, Ireland? Who do we?
I reckon it'll still be a predominantly Irish squad.
Yep.
There'll be hopefully more Scottish in there than what there has been in the past.
Yep.
And just for the sake of world rugby, I hope there's not as many English, because it's just, you just get sick of them.
Who's 10? Just quickly, if you any thoughts or earlier thoughts on this?
Has to be Finn Russell.
Yeah. I'd love to say Finn.
Do you think they call upon Owen Farrell at all for the squad?
If his hand's up, he
Yeah.
probably walks into that 10 role.
Yeah.
But who's coaching?
It's the Irish guy. What's his name?
Yeah, see, he likes playing attacking footy. And he loves having those little backdoor short passes. For me, I still think it's going to be Finn Russell. I think he suits how the Irish play.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it could be Sione at 12?
Hell no.
If he's back,
Put a Bundy?
Bundy Arkee's your 12. He's the best 12 in the world at the moment, I think, by a lot.
Yeah, and then Paul, 13, Hugh Jones?
yeah, probably Shuggy at 13, I'd
Yeah.
say.
He'd probably be one. It'll be him, or what's the 13 for Ireland? Is it Ringrose?
Ringrose,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll be one of those two, I think, at 13.
There we go. We'll get into lines that creeps up in the months ahead. Let's go, boys. Super Rugby Round 6, picks and preview. Let's start on Friday night. Moana Pacifica against the Chiefs. $6.20. Moana, $1.11. The Chiefs. Alliance, 17.5. New centre pairing for the Chiefs. Rona and Rampling get a crack. And Moana looking for back-to-back victories for the first time in their history. Where do we
Even
land?
with the Chiefs resting players, their squad depth this year
Yeah.
is outstanding. Like, you take out Quinn and Anton, you're going, oh no, who's the next midfielders? Rona's been proven at Super Rugby level, and when Rampling's had an opportunity this year, he's been great too. So it's just showing a bit of their squad depth and probably testing it, but I think the Chiefs do this and they do it well.
Happy to lay the points.
What's the line?
17.5. A lot of points.
Chiefs have made a few changes in their forward pack. Where's it being played?
Pukekohe?
Pukekohe and Counties. I'm actually not... Who's the home team?
Moana.
Moana.
So that's close to where the Chiefs are?
Yes, it's in the middle. So Chiefs, Counties is part of Chiefs.
Yeah, right.
So it's like South Auckland or just past South
So
Auckland.
it's like almost a home game?
Just on the way out. It'd be a home game for almost both teams, but I'm going to go Chiefs to cover that line.
Yep.
Artie's out, and I just think he's a big loss still.
That's huge. Jordan?
Yeah, I think Chiefs just under that line. I don't know if they'll get there with the changes and the restings, but...
You reckon Moana do enough to hang around? Is that what you're telling me? Or are you saying the Chiefs win by 17.5 or more?
No, they'll win convincingly. I don't think it'll be over 17.
Okay, there we go. I thought we had to do a ring.
No, sorry.
Yeah, people don't understand the handicaps, mate.
That's all right. You're not meant to. You guys are professional players. I'm going to go the Chiefs as well. I'm going to lay them and hope they do a job. The Blues, the Crusaders,
Hang on, what was your line pick there?
Yeah.
Chiefs.
So they're going to cover the
I'm
line?
going to lay them. Yep, lay the points. Blues versus Crusaders, $1.82. The Blues, $1.90. The Crusaders, half a point is your number. So 2-2 and Perifetta, the big ones back for the Blues.
I think Hoskins is a massive ad. I think they've lost a bit of dominant carry with him out.
Yep.
Is it in Christchurch?
No, Eden Park.
I'm going to go the Blues here. Why Canterbury's good normally at going up there and upsetting the Blues,
Yeah.
I think the Blues owe them one after the back end of last year.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Blues are in trouble too. They need to win games and win games soon, and I think they know that. And I actually think the Perifetta to 10 situation
Good?
is a bit of a panic.
Okay.
But he's also a very good 10. Like, you can't tell me Plummer's been deserved to be dropped. Like, he's been their incumbent for the last couple of years, and I think it's a shit's not working at our 10 at the moment. Bowden wasn't playing well there. Plummer hasn't played well there. I think that's Perifetta's going to put his hand up, and he's fucking a good footballer. He just constantly has those little niggles.
Geordie?
Yeah, I think just because of the Eden Park, to be
Yeah.
honest. I was kind of debating this afternoon, Blues, Crusaders, was having a chat and was kind of getting a bit of both. But yeah, I think just, as Tyler said, like I think they're kind of due for a solid
win.
performance. And I think if they're going to do it, Eden Park is the place to do it.
They haven't lost more than 2 in a row since 2018, the Blues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Blues. Probably Blues 1-12. I think it'll be close. But yeah, go Blues to win. Let's go now to Dunedin. The Highlanders, $1.50. The Reds, $2.45. The Lions, 4.5. As you mentioned, Tate McDermott and Fraser McWright are out. Tawatawa Nawai back to the wing, making way for Thomas Umaga Jensen, making his debut at 12.
Debut or just back in?
Is it debut for...
Nah, he's played for the Landers before,
Really?
I'm sure
Okay.
of it.
Yeah, right. It's an interesting one, this one.
Yeah, Tawatawa Nawai's obviously been their best this year, and best by a lot. I want to back the Reds because I've been gassing them up.
This is important to win
But
over there, I think.
in Dunners, it's always tough. And I think Tate and Fraser are big losses. Like, not losses, but big exclusions to this team.
Yeah. Under the roof, the atmosphere would be pumped.
So who's favourite?
Landers are $1.50.
They are favourite?
Yeah.
That spun me a little bit.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm going to back the Landers here.
Yeah.
What's the line?
4.5.
Fuck.
Yeah,
It's a shit
It's
line.
a tough week, mate. Tough week.
I'll go Reds to cover. I think it's a close game. Watch them lose by 5 because I've said this.
Yeah,
Geordie, how do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I was talking to Tyler just off camera about this before. I think we were running through the back lines, and I think one of the fellows I was really excited to see this year, I think he's been a bit quiet, is Lockie on the wing.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he's due for a big game, and it's obviously hard to say that.
Yeah.
You can't just throw out, oh, he's due for a big game and expect something big. But I don't know. I just feel something. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is, but I feel something.
Yeah.
And I think we're quite a tight sort of competition. I don't know. I feel like the Reds. I feel like they've got a bit of wind behind their sails or something. Even though with Tate and Fraser out.
You're back in the Reds to get it done.
Yeah.
And done in.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna take the Reds.
Matty Fezler also out.
Who's Richie starting?
Richie's a hooker, but he's been good. But then George Blake, Tonga, reserve hooker.
I love that. The big dog.
Joe Bryle onto the bench too.
Oh, John Bryan to start too at 7.
Yeah, it's
Comes in.
Who's been there 20 the last few weeks? Has it been John Bryan? I don't actually know.
I'm trying to think because Blythe was 19.
Liam Wright, like he's
injured.
He got injured.
Again.
Did he come back? Yeah.
His shoulder again. Poor guy.
Nah, I'm going Landers. I'm not changing my pick. But Reds
Do enough.
to cover. Close game.
Do enough, yeah. I think it's 1 to 12 either way.
Yeah.
My best bet would be Landers 1 to 12 with the play. But I'll go Highlanders to win, and I'll go Reds to stick with the number as well. I reckon they do enough. There we go. All right, let's go to the grudge match. The Waratahs, $2.50. The Brumbies, $1.47. The Lions, 5.5. The Brumbies have won the last 13 versus the Waratahs. Rob Valentini is back for the Brums, but still no Suoli, Lancaster, and captain Jake Gordon for the Tahs.
I did not like the Brumbies video today.
Oh, it was. I know that's a classic. Like, fuck, you risky doing that.
That's it. Like they posted like the 13 in a row, and they showed like glimpses from every game.
Each win.
Hey.
I'm like, oh god.
Like it's a bit of arrogance, and I understand the socials, but I was like,
I would never do that.
not a fan of that. Like
Because that could bounce back
they
real
could
bad.
bounce back, and I kind of want to go to the Tahs for that. But what breaks me a little bit here is it's good to see Lawson Crichton's obviously getting the role at 10, but Joseph Suoliti I think has been a big loss for them.
Oh,
He only played the one game, but his sort of impact in the game and the air and stuff like that, and I just still don't think the Tahs have played good footy.
No.
Whereas the Brumbies have looked good the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So
It's in Sydney also.
yeah, I'm. How the heck have they had four home games in the first 5 rounds or 6 rounds?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Paid some.
But it's going to be a hell of a tough road trip towards the
Yeah,
end.
they're going to be struggling if they're fighting for a spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to back the Brumbies here. What's the line?
For 5.5.
And Brumbies to cover.
Yeah. Geordie, what are you thinking? Are the Tahs any chance here?
Nah.
That's it.
No, I think yeah, as Tyler was saying, like the Brumbies have been strong, and yeah, they've chucked out that post which I didn't know about, and it's pretty arrogant. But at the same time, I think that says a lot about what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, close geographical game. There's going to be a lot on the line. I think both teams are going to be up for it. The Brumbies are just probably just in too good of a spot at the moment for the Tahs for Geelong.
Lovely. Yeah, I like the Brumbies here to win. Brumbies minus 4.5. I like Andy Muirhead for a try as well. Any try scorers in this one you like, fellas?
In this game?
Laney Gleason's naming it 8-2.
Rob Valentini.
Oh, yeah, first game back.
Lukey Reimer back into start.
Yeah.
Probably earned that after the weekend. Yeah, I like Rob Valentini to go over here.
Lovely. Jordan? And it comes to mine before we look to move on.
He's looking to see who hookers are.
Yeah, it's always a
Yeah,
safe bet, isn't
literally.
it?
Nah, I don't know. I think we're going to see some razzle, and I don't know who's going to finish it, but I think there's going to be a good long range try somewhere in there, and it's going to be someone you won't expect to pick up the crumbs and just
Take the
Well,
overs.
Yeah, plenty of points.
And I'm going to say this because I just saw the ref, Ben O'Keefe. Someone that lets the game flow
Let's
quite a
play.
lot.
Yeah. All right, let's go now again, boys. A bit of Sunday footy as well. We head out west. The Western Force, $1.57. The Drua, $2.30. The Lions, 3.5. All those Wallabies are back in the mix now for the Force. I love this bit of Sunday arvo. It's good.
yeah.
The best. Tyler.
Make or break game for the Drua.
And the Force?
Force are at home.
Okay.
For me, this is make or break for the Drua because they need an away win.
Yeah.
I just think they need one to, if they want to keep going in this comp.
need
If
to
they
find-
lose this, they're in a bit of trouble
Yeah.
because they'll make them, 1 win in 2 wins,
2 and 6.
2 and 6. So
Tough.
back in the Drua here, I just think he said it before, the Force are on a bit of a sort of
Back in the draw,
back
you know.
going down at the moment. So obviously that's Drua to win it, Drua to cover the line, and I'm actually going to back the Bondi. Tui Draki, Samu Vandre.
Nice.
He's going to get a try this
Is he
week.
at 13 on the wing?
13.
13, okay. Caleb Munster's back too at 10.
Yeah, I think that gives him a bit
Do you
of a
prefer
steady.
that, Munster over Armstrong?
I do too. I think Armstrong's got a lot of talent, but I still think he's quite raw.
Yeah, young.
Like very young and makes a lot of little silly errors. I think Muntz is someone that can direct them and make sure when they're sort of under pressure, he can put them in the right parts of the field to win a game.
Lovely. The Force last 3 have been decided by 5 or less at home, as we've seen. What are your thoughts here, Jordan?
Yeah, I think draw. To be
You
honest,
like
I think, we were talking about the fact that they don't travel well. But in saying that, I think coming from where they're at to go all the way to the other side of the country, it's a longer flight, but I think it makes a world of a difference in terms of a mindset change. Like I've always found it really hard to do like a 2-3 hour flight to then get off and play a game of footy. Whereas if you're traveling 5, 6, 7 hours, I feel like you have more of a time mentally to sort of prepare yourself for what's going on. Okay. You don't feel as rushed. And then travel aside, I think Fiji they're just a firecracker. Like, they're going to come out, they're going to throw some razzle, and where the Force are at the moment, I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with it. There's obviously going to be some big minutes and some big sort of contacts and collisions, especially I think in this game. But I think just that razzle, and especially if Fiji get a bit of Fijian luck, get some ball to hand,
Bit of momentum.
It's going to be a good game to watch.
I like it. I'm going to go the Force to win just at home, and I can take the over. Plenty of points, I reckon.
Also think the Fijian draw, well, I'm assuming they've done this. I'm assuming they've flown from Canberra directly there.
Yeah, they would have, for sure.
So they're going to be there all week.
They've been there for a whole week.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there won't be much. Like, I'm assuming they've done this. I'm trying to see anything.
They probably left Sunday morning, straight away, I reckon.
Yeah,
after
and would have
rugby.
flown straight there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point going back for a day and then flying straight to Perth. That's my assumption that they've done that.
Just quietly as well, with the Drew, I didn't realise, but Messi Dolakoto, the reserve hooker,
Yeah, Bondi.
Gun.
Yeah, Messi, love him.
He's a weapon too.
Got to back him in.
Yeah, 100%. I go Force win, drew a cover for me. I think it's 1-12 on that side of things. All right, there we go, boys. NRL, Super Rugby round 6 in the books. Bit of news I want to chat and get your opinion on. Firstly, Rocky Elsom, you guys across this? There's a manhunt on the Wallaby.
Oh, yeah, I've
2
seen
years,
that.
2 years jail he's been sentenced to, and they're trying to find him.
Yeah.
This is wild.
He got on a podcast with someone, it might have been last week.
With Mark, did Mark Boris do one?
And they were like, where are, mate, just,
Where
we're
are
obviously not going to tell you, but where are you? And he's just beating around the bush. He's like, no, it's going to be a lot better for me if I stay out of custody to try and build my case. It'd be far better to defend. But what a fall from grace.
It's crazy. So do you know that Narbonne, the French
Yeah.
rugby team, so is it he spent money on Australian coaches and players? I think that was the thing.
I'm not sure what he spent it on, but I know he was skimming funds off the top of their allocated budget. I don't know where it was going, but
I'm interested to see when it all comes out.
Yeah, not good.
Because I feel like if he was paying players to come over, it's a bit different than if he was...
He's saying he's a scapegoat. He's just the guy that's been pinged for it. But yeah, because
Can't trust
that's
him,
very
is
much a dominant Australian. So that club used to be owned by Justin Harrison, who used to be one of the coaches there, and then it used to be owned by Bob Dwyer as well, the Wallaby legend. So it's got a lot of Australian thing to it. But yeah, 2 years he's been sentenced. Trying to find him. Crazy.
yeah, I don't know where he's going to pop up, how he's going to pop up, what's going on.
So what's Aussie's relationship with the French embassy?
Well, I don't think we'd
Like
do
if
it.
he sneaks back in here, because obviously he's going to want to see family.
No
and-
way.
They
He's been living in Ireland for years, I think. He's in.
yeah.
So no one's actually going to ever know where he is, unless someone that's a rugby fan posts him one day.
Yeah, he's not coming back here, tell you that.
But even
I
that,
don't even know if I'd want to be on the run like that for
No,
the
oh
rest
my
of
God.
my life.
but I also don't know how. Like, obviously they've set out an international warrant or whatever, but.
It's always the Irish cops now chasing him.
Are they actively out there trying to get him, or are
So
they
I
just
mean,
waiting for him to cross the border and get picked up
depend
by?
on-
And it's not like it's
relationships or something?
and it's blue collar. It's not like it's murder.
No, it's not like he's gone out and
Yeah, it's money. So I don't know how serious it is, but
yeah. It's,
I don't want to go. I wouldn't want to go into a French jail. I'll tell you that right
Pretty
now.
funny.
no,
I don't think I want to go to jail in general, Geordie.
Yeah, fact. But I feel like in France it'd be dodgy
I
as.
reckon the food would be pretty good.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Could I get some red wine for dinner and lunch? Maybe some cheese for breakfast.
Joy's all for it. All right, change.
Commit a crime in France and find out.
Not good. Change of pace. Bit of chat about Super Round to Fiji if they can get the infrastructure right. Obviously need to upgrade some lights and stuff. But Bula Round, thoughts?
Depends where. Like a lot of, like having been to Fiji, a lot of their stadiums aren't on the tourist side of things.
Yeah.
Like if they were to have a stadium around, is it Nandi, where all the
Yeah, I think it's
Mali or
the stadiums are Suva
Yeah.
and Lautoka. I'm not sure where
Yeah,
they stand
so-
in.
Nandi's on one side because you normally fly in there, and that's where all the resorts and stuff are just up from there.
Yeah.
But Suva, you've got to go on another flight, so either get into Suva or drive.
Big bus.
And I remember I did it one year, or was it China Lions or with the Chiefs? It was one of them. and we were on like an old, like obviously a bit of an older bus, and it was just like 3 or 4 hours of like the whole thing jolting, but and all the kids coming up and running beside the bus,
Yeah.
like because of how much they love footy. But it was like,
Did you give out some kid?
no, we didn't actually stop,
Ah,
unfortunately.
you just hate the people.
Yeah, I'm just not a people person, mate.
Okay.
So it's a bit like, if it's over there in the tourist side, yes, Super Round would be unreal. Obviously, all the locals would get to it, but plus you'd get people coming in. It's going to boost their rugby and their economy.
Good tourism, yeah.
But if they're on the Suva side, it's a bit interesting because Suva is probably not the biggest of tourist locations. Having
Surely
been
they'd
there.
take that into account, you'd think. But
You'd assume so, but
Yeah, I think if they figured out the other things other than just the stadium facilities.
yeah, they can't play night games currently, so got to fix that up.
Oh, it's that.
yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
one of the
right.
reasons, yeah.
Okay.
You need some lights.
Well, I mean, you think about it. If you're bringing in all the super sides, plus their support staff, plus the fans that travel, like, that's a massive influx of
That'd be
people
huge.
into possibly a place that isn't used to getting many tourists at all.
Yeah.
And it's not like these tourists are happy to just sit and chill in a backpack.
Well, they'd all be in the big resorts
exactly.
and stuff.
And,
But
That's what I mean. They're on the other side.
yeah. Do they have those facilities over there to accommodate?
yeah.
Probably not.
There's a couple of resorts in Suva, don't get me wrong. Like, we stayed in one. But it's not as like the other side where it's the real nice beaches and you get all the
Yeah.
photos you see on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
It's on the opposite side to Suva.
But I like it.
I do like the idea of it.
After all that, yeah, don't mind it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot of work to be done
Yeah.
for it to happen.
Got to connect the dots there. Around the grounds a bit, boys. Club Championships on the weekend. Brothers fell short. They were down 28-0, came back, lost 28-26. Any thoughts around this?
Yeah, I didn't actually think it was the strongest of brothers teams either. Obviously, you lose big names like Brad Cupper, Paddy James to retirement.
Yeah, Lawson.
Lawson Crichton. Obviously, James O'Connell's with them the back end of last year. I can't really speak for who was in East and who
Yeah, that
wasn't.
Jude Gibbs got a crack.
He did come off the bench?
Yeah.
Because I saw he wasn't named to start.
Yeah, he came off the bench.
Like, obviously, there's a lot of players that weren't playing for brothers that we've seen the last couple of years. So, big second half from them to fight back in that. And unfortunate probably not to come away with a win. But I think it just shows how close Shoot Shield and QPR are at the moment.
Yeah.
We drew with Hunter. We were both sort of middle of the pack teams last year. We see them going down by 2 to the 2 top teams. So, yeah, it's showing that there's a good sort of even level of strength in club rugby, and maybe there is an opportunity now to have this Australian club champs that's been proposed.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're going to change this to the end of the year, 2 weeks after the grand final.
Yeah, that's the one
I
thing
think
I've
it'd be so
always
much
hated.
better.
I've played in 2 of them now, and
Oh, yeah.
it's so
It's
disappointing.
a whole new team, like
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, literally. Like, you jump back and you go across, and 5 months later, you're playing in the Aussie Club Champs with 13 new fellas.
yeah.
Barely any preseason.
Yeah, who have not played any footy. No one's fit.
And it's also the time of the year it's hot as
Yeah.
playing early March, whatever.
And then if you're playing in Sydney, you're getting rain and it's hot and muggy. If you come up here, you're getting a bloody cyclone the week before.
Yeah.
The Aus Club Champs 2 weeks after is obviously an interesting one as well. You look at us when we finish up, normally 2 weeks after we have our awards night. A lot of people, if you win a comp, I don't know how many days you're going to be drinking
Yeah,
for.
that's the issue.
In my head, I'm thinking 5 days. So a lot of people would need a bit to bounce back from that. And do you go straight back into training after winning?
Yeah, that'd be
Do you
hard.
take a week
Yeah,
off
well-
and then prep into it?
How many boys are going to sit there and go, yeah, actually, you know what, let's go back and do another month of training
Yeah.
post-season to play.
How many
One
boys
game.
play a
Yeah.
grand final with a heck load of niggles
Yeah.
to
And a lot of them
that
play,
win?
and then the guys are retiring, play that to be, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and it's just another game. It's an interesting one, whether they do it there or not, if it's going to work. But
Yeah.
I think it would be better to watch them play at full strength.
For sure. On the women's front too, obviously Bond drew 19 all with the Sydney University. Weird old game, that one.
Fortunately, we didn't catch any of this. We were
You
sort
were
of
busy, but yeah,
stuck warming up.
it was interesting. They yeah, Bond probably should have won that game. All right, let's go a bit of March Madness, boys.
Biased commentator right here.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm not.
What? Come on, just quickly before we move on.
I'm just biased to you.
Can we talk about, apparently,
That's big.
supposedly,
Yeah.
allegedly, there was a kick
Yeah.
that could have been...
Okay, if you want to talk about it, yeah. So
yeah, let's touch on it.
I couldn't believe what I was watching, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm trying to be nice because a lot of our friends,
Yeah.
but Bond got 2 penalties, like pretty much adjacent to the uprights, and they didn't take it. No one stepped up to kick it,
I'm not going to comment
and
on
then
this.
they had a scrum penalty and got held up over the line full time. So
I got no comment.
yeah, but I guess in the big moment I got a bit nervous, didn't want to do it, but like have a shot at the goal, you miss it, still a draw.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So yeah, and to be honest, any of those girls would have slotted the kick. It was pretty much right in front.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, because that was the only bit of feedback I got from anyone.
it was wild. I mean, I was calling it, and I just couldn't believe it. I was Kerry Barker, former Wallaroo, was talking to her, and she was like just shocked. I'm like, what are these guys doing? Take the kick.
Yeah.
But that's footy, eh? That's footy.
It is.
Lessons learned.
Big
Again,
moments, yeah.
that could come into the whole 6 months post preseason, 6 months post grand final, Aussie champ. Like everyone might be a little bit out of sorts. Who knows?
Yeah.
Nah.
Huh?
There's not.
I think you got to
excuse
say
for that.
yeah.
I'm just trying to. Be positive
You're
here.
trying to make it a positive.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Good on you, Jordan. Asking the tough questions.
Yeah,
Nice. Thanks,
you know.
mate, for that. Yeah, good. Put me in a tough spot. Excellent. All right, that's us on the rugby front. March Madness, you get around this at all? College basketball?
I kind of follow it. I'm not as into it as I am with the college football. But I'm interested to see this whole tournament, how Cooper Flag goes. Projected number 1 pick, and obviously has a lot of potential. I'll tell you what's scary. 2 teams he could end up on are the Thunder and the Spurs.
I don't know. I don't follow NBA at all. So that means nothing.
So the Thunder are at the top of the Western Conference at the moment,
Yeah.
but have like 33 picks in the next 5 years
Jeez.
because they just traded people away and collected a young talent, and now they've still got all these picks that they could possibly get another generational talent, as he's been talked
Apparently he's meant
about,
to be the man, yeah.
to be added into their roster, which is scary hours for everyone else.
It is. Are you an American sports fan, man? Do you get around
Not
it?
particularly. No.
Not your thing?
I'll watch it if
Goes
it's
over
on.
his head a little bit. Too much thinking.
Yeah,
Right,
I
okay.
can't really. There's too many rules.
Yeah, okay.
The only sport I enjoy watching is ice hockey, and that's because they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
But
right.
again, I don't know what's going on. I can't even see the puck when it's on the screen.
Yeah, that is I don't mind the ice hockey. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want to touch on? Anything else you want to ask the big fella before we look to wrap up?
There's only one answer to this, Jordy. Best 10 that's played outside you.
Yeah, it could be a good
We've
combination.
been through some things.
What do we do? Queensland schools, Aussie schools
Yeah, I
together?
saw that photo last week. You guys, well, how long have you
It
been playing together
started
now?
in what?
10
That
years?
was
No, longer than
13s?
that. I think actually 13s we were rivals. We were both playing 10 back then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
14s was in the first time I think we played as a
Together.
sort of 9-10 together.
No, I was playing 15, and then I got moved into 9 at the back end.
Is
of
this
that
TSS?
section.
Yeah,
Or
No,
club?
this is pre-TSS.
Okay.
this is
right.
pre-TSS.
This is for
And
the
then
breakers.
under
true.
16s we both moved to TSS, so year 11. So,
Yeah.
shit, what's that? Would have been 2012, 2011 we first started playing together, so
Yeah.
13 odd years.
But even then, I wasn't really a 9. When we moved there, I didn't really have a position.
You
And
just
then I
sort
knew
of,
he was playing 10. And the year before, we played South Coast together under AB, was our coach, director of sport at the time at
Yeah.
TSS. And he put me at 9 for a game or two, and then he was kind of like, yeah,
Sort of
if you're coming,
went from there.
Here
you're
we
playing
go.
9. So,
And now
that was
2025, still going strong, boys.
I know.
Good to see.
Haven't killed each other yet.
Love it.
Well, mentally I've killed him.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
Sunnybank trial this weekend too.
Yeah, I'm not
Any
having a run
minute?
around.
You guys playing? Any minutes?
Yeah.
Shall we have a run? Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to have a run.
Nice.
Well, up until the weekend gone, I hadn't played footy since...
Well, it's, round
June.
one's next week. It's kind of crazy.
I know.
That's nuts.
I'm actually genuinely
Just the
excited.
cyclone and stuff just sort of
Yeah.
threw a big spanner in the works. Lost a couple, sort of a week and a bit of training, and we kind of went into the Hunter game with one training session.
Yep.
So we're probably going to have 2 preseason and into West. So we've actually had a few preseason games already. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. But yeah, I'm being rested this week because I've got a few big corks and a nice big bruise on the side of the leg.
Yep.
But I'm keen to see some of the other boys step up and get an opportunity and put some pressure on myself as well as putting pressure on each other to sort of push into a starting spot going into round 1. Because as I said before, competition sort of builds talent and makes us better as a squad.
Absolutely want some depth. It's good. There we go. Jordan Lenac, thank you, mate. It was good.
Pleasure.
Come on. I reckon you might be a bit of a... We want to invite you back. I was quite impressed.
See how we go. Next, I'll do some more actual research
That's
rather
good,
than
mate.
just talk about
Mate, but remember the bar was very low. Who was sitting there before you? So
Yeah. To tell you what, there's not even a dint in this kitchen.
Got to say to him, good luck to that little prick this weekend.
yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully he gets it. I haven't seen a team yet. Hopefully he
No,
could be
I'm
the
hoping he
next.
gets a start.
Yeah,
Obviously 2 weeks. They had the bye week.
yeah. I saw he's traveling around, living his
He's
best
in
life.
LA.
I saw a photo of Compton, so hopefully he got out of there all right.
Mate, as long as he was sober, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
That's the
But
key
on
word.
the note of the little prick, ban the sternum law. Got to keep his tradition going.
Yeah, I love it. There we go. Thank you, Jordan Lenac. Thank you, Tyler. Enjoy rugby this weekend. We'll see you next week for it. Do it all again. See you later.